Assalamu alaikum dears, this is your Nazia ma'am. Hope you are doing good, alhamdulillah. Now, today we are going to see the barriers of effective reading under your SBS, okay, skills for employment. The next topic, barriers of effective reading. So, yesterday we saw about the effective reading. What is reading skill and how the reading skill can be developed. So barriers of effective reading. So how the reading can we saw yesterday how reading skill can be developed and what are the problems that children faces from the beginning up to the adult age. That is, these are different stages yesterday, from the stage 0 up to the age of 18. So I told you that you can make yourself there and you can point out where you lack. Okay, so we saw about the reading skill, we saw how to develop the reading skill. So now today we are going to see what are the barriers of effective reading. What are the barriers? Barriers means what stops you not to develop a good reading skill. What are the barriers that you can't reach your goal of being an effective reader? So now we can see. So introduction part. So effective communication skills are always essential in your academic as well as professional career. So the first barrier is effective communication. So if you don't have effective communication, if you are not communicating in a good way, so definitely you will be a failure even in the academic as well as a professional career in your profession. So effective communication skill plays an important role in the academic as well as the professional careers. These are the main skills which you have to develop from the beginning of your age, that is from the 3rd standard up to the 18 years. You have to develop in by yourself the way of communicating, the way of reading, the way of the vocabulary, the way of style. Everything you have to develop by yourself. So unless you have effective communication, your every skill will be a waste of for you. So the first thing is effective communication. They are more vital these days amidst the phenomenal advancement in technology, globalization, increasing cultural diversity, and also the adoption of team-based structures in workplace. So if you don't have the technological knowledge, the globalization knowledge, how the world increase, how the world was developing day by day, what are the technologies are developing day by day, you should be in a update, you should be updated even in the team based work in your workplace, or you are in some other work. Wherever you are, you should make your advancement in your technology regarding your technological knowledge. So you should have a very good technological knowledge. You should adopt a team based structure in the workplace so that you can be a very good and effective reader. So the first thing we saw, the effective communication. The next is you should have some advancement in the technology. You should have adopt the teamwork structures. You should have the in-depth knowledge of globalization, how it increases, how it develops day by day. You should have good cultural aspects in you so that you can survive in whatever the areas you belong, whatever the areas you went, wherever you are going for your career, wherever your profession is. the main thing you have to keep it in your mind is the advancement in the technology. You should be updated in the technology. When we talk about the time generally spent by professional on communication activities, see that time they spend on receiving information, that is listening and reading, is more than what they spend on sending. So the main thing you have to focus is on communication activities. What are the communication activities? Now I am the communicator and you are listening to me. I am reading the slides and I am explaining you. So if you want to be an effective reader, if you want to be a good professionalist, then you have to be updated. You have to spend your time in receiving information. How will you receive your information? By listening and by reading. Okay, so you will be a effective reader. So you can take this as an example, dears. You take this video lecture as an example. See, now I am a communicator to you. Now I am communicating with you. I am showing these slides. In this, I am listening here, I am reading these slides and I am explaining you. And you are listening to me, as well as while you see this video lecture, the same thing you are reading the slides. So I repeat once again, the first is effective communication. Wherever you are, whether you are a student or you are a professionalist, you should have a good effective communication, good communication. Then you should have advancement in the technology. You should know what is developing day by day. You should know the workplace. You should adopt the workplace based upon the communication you have. At the same time, you should spend time in developing your skills in receiving information, likewise listening and reading. So you cannot waste your time by doing any such activities. So if you want to be a good reader, effective reader, you have to spend time in listening and reading. So the percentage, the time spent by the professionals on writing, see, you can look at it, this small diagram, small picture, where with the color it has been pointed out how the professionals are spending their time. See, the first thing is writing, second speaking, third reading, and fourth one is listening. You can clearly guess here that listening is very, very important. Next comes the reading part, next comes the speaking, next comes the reading, and finally writing. So they are spending very little time in writing. So if you want to become a very good reader, very good effective reader, very good effective professionalist, you have to spend your time in listening, in speaking. So then you can grasp all the knowledge from the opposite person and you can be an effective reader. So spend time in listening and speaking. So sorry dears. Purpose of reading. What is the purpose of reading? Reading is one of the most important academic tasks faced by students. It is equally important in the commercial working world. So definitely, so reading is an important task. Unless we read, we cannot understand, we cannot reproduce, we cannot implement, we cannot survive in this world. So purpose of reading, the main purpose of reading for you are the students, you are the youngsters. If you develop a good reading skill, then you can survive anywhere. If you develop the reading skills in you, then you can survive in this commercial world. So you are the people's daily you are facing this task of reading. So daily you are facing the task means daily we are posting you the lectures, daily you have to watch the lectures, daily you have to be updated with your studies. So definitely I can say that you have developed at least 40 or 50% reading capacity by listening this video lecture. The purpose of reading is to connect the ideas on the page to what you already know. If you like any other your favorite, then reading page is very easy. So here, if you have any favorite writer, if you want to read about your favorite writer, then definitely you will have a great interest in reading that particular person's page. Your reading rate will vary depending upon the reading material. So now we come to the reading rate part. Your reading rate will definitely vary, depends upon the reading material. So what kind of work you started reading, what kind of book you want to read, what kind of book you want to read, and what are the material you are coming across. So the thing will definitely vary your reading rate. So work on your vocabulary. So the main thing is your vocabulary will automatically increased. You will have a good vocabulary while you read day by day, while you work on the vocabulary. To read faster, the following techniques of reading words in groups. So how you can develop the technique of reading, how you can develop this technique. So you have to read faster, you have to read louder, so that you can determine your purpose of reading. So reading speed will increase only after your practice. If you have poor concentration when reading, practice reading for 5 to 10 minutes at a time and gradually increase the time. So the reading rates are very, very important in the effective reading process. So first, how the reading rate increase. So it depends upon the material what you have selected for your reading. So definitely you have to work on your vocabulary. So to read faster, you have to follow many techniques of reading words, write slow words, fast words. You have, if you understood the word, you can pronounce it correctly. If you didn't understood the word, you will pronounce, you have some difficulty in reading process. So that you should determine your purpose before you read. So how you increase your reading speed? Definitely practice makes a man perfect. So if you want to reach perfection, then definitely you have to practice daily. So unless you practice, you can't reach your goal. See, you want to be effective reader, you want to be effective professionalist, you want to be effective reader, if you want to be an effective person, if you want to develop effective communication in you, then definitely the first thing you need is practice. So increase your practice time. So reading speed will increase only when you practice. So everything whatever we are undergoing in the SBS syllabus, you can take our video lectures as an example. So if you read, so that your reading capacity will definitely increase, and definitely you will become a very good reader. So if you have poor concentration, so practice reading for 5 to 10 minutes and definitely you increase. So you don't go with half an hour, you don't go with 1 hour. Just practice for 5 to 10 minutes reading a small story books of only 2 or 3 pages, so that you can develop your reading skill. Then, what are the reasons for the poor comprehension? So comprehension we saw yesterday, that is a power of understanding. So what are the reasons that we have the poor comprehension, that we have the poor understanding? Nabalki ye purile, why we are not understanding? What are the reason? So the main reason for poor reading comprehension are inability to understand a word. inability to understand a sentence, inability to understand how the sentence or relate to one another, how the sentences relate to one another, inability to understand how the information fits together in a meaningful way, and lack of interest or concentration. So these are the reasons for your poor understanding. ஸோ ஏன் உங்களுக்கு புரியல, ஏன் உங்கள் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இவ்வளோ புவராக இருக்குது, அதுக்காக ரீசன் என்ன? ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட் ரீசன் என்னென்னா, யூ டோன்ட் ஹாவ் தி எபிலிட்டி டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தி வேர்ட். ஸோ இப்போது வேர்டே நம்ம அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணலைன்னா எப்படி நம்ம வந்து ரீட் பண்ண முடியாது இல்லையா? ஸோ த சேம், if you are not able to understand the particular word, so definitely you can't able to read properly. So that is the first thing, the first reason is inability to understand the word, inability to understand a sentence. So if you did not understand the particular sentences, definitely you won't able to read it properly. If you want to read it properly, then you won't understand it properly. Same thing, na? Inability to understand how sentences relate to one another. So you are not relating the sentences. So unless you relate, definitely you feel a difficulty. So next, inability to understand how the information fits together in a meaningful way. So the information, you are not able to fit the information in a particular place. So because you don't know the meaning. இப்போ மீனிங் தெரியலனா அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வந்து நீங்கள் சரியாக சொல்ல மாட்டீங்க. இப்போ வந்து உங்களுக்கு அந்த பர்டிகுலர் சென்டென்சஸ், அந்த பர்டிகுலர் வேர்டோட மீனிங் உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருந்தால் தான் you can able to understand and you can able to produce. So these are the reason, one more reason for the poor understanding. Comprehension means understanding. So poor comprehension means poor understanding. Okay. Lack of interest or concentration. So இப்போ இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இல்லை, கான்சன்ட்ரேஷன் இல்லைன்னா எப்படி புரியும்? இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருந்தால் தான் படிக்க முடியும். வித்தவுட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் we cannot do anything. So we are teaching you daily, we are giving you the lectures daily. Unless you concentrate on our lecture, you cannot get anything. So everything you take this lecture as an example, dear. So எதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு புவர் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இருக்குதுன்னா எதுக்காக இருக்குது புவர் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்? ஸோ you are not understanding the word, you don't have the ability to understand the word, you don't have the ability to understand the sentences, you don't have the ability to relate the sentences, you don't know the information. So unless you know the meaning of the particular information, you cannot able to reveal, you cannot able to produce the information, you cannot able to inform others. இப்போ வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது இப்போ போய் இது நீங்கள் சொல்லிட்டு வாங்கன்னு சொன்னால் அது வந்து உங்களுக்கு மீனிங் புரியணும், எதை பற்றி சொல்லணும்னு உங்களுக்கு முதல்ல தெரியணும். Unless you people know about the meaning, you cannot give the correct information. So that is one more reason. The final reason, the strong reason is everything comes under this lack of interest or concentration. If you have lack in interest, if you are not at all interest in the studies, definitely you people won't be a good student. Yeah, definitely na. If you did not concentrate on this lecture what we are posting you daily, definitely you won't get about this syllabus, you cannot able to know what are the unit we are running about. So with the help of good concentration, so what my point of view is, understand the word, dears, understand the sentence. If you have problem, go to the dictionaries, get the dictionaries, find out the meaning, create interest, so that you can concentrate well and you will be a good effective reader as well as a good student. So how you can improve comprehension skills? So these are Now, reason for poor comprehension, reason for poor understanding. எதுக்காக வந்து என்ன ரீசன்னால நம்மளுக்கு வந்து poor understanding இருக்குதுன்னு நம்ம இப்போ பார்த்தோம். இப்போ வந்து நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறது how to improve, என்ன பண்ணால் அந்த அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் ஸ்கில் வந்து நம்ம உள்ள டெவலப் ஆகும், நம்மளுக்குள்ள ரீடிங் எபிலிட்டி டெவலப் ஆகும், என்ன வந்து நம்மளுக்கு தடையாக இருக்குது, இந்த எஃபெக்டிவ் ரீடிங் நம்மளுக்கு வரணும்னா நம்ம வந்து என்னென்ன ஸ்டெப்ஸ் ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். ஸோ ஹவு டு இம்ப்ரூவ் காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன் ஸ்கில். ஸோ த ஃபஸ்ட் திங், reading variety of materials. Do not limit yourself to textbook. So variety of materials read பண்ணுங்க. இப்போ வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு if you're going with the literature, read one literature part, close it, then comes to the poetry part, finish it off, keep aside, then go to the science book, read some science lessons and then close it. So don't limit your textbook. So don't limit your study, don't limit your education. So day by day try to increase your education, educate yourself in such a way so that you will be a good student, good academicians, and as well as a good professionalist in your future career. To make reading a more active process. So read actively. எடுத்து வந்து பாபான்னு படிச்சுட்டெல்லாம் போகக்கூடாது. ஆக்டிவாக உக்காந்து கரெக்டாக என்ன இருக்குதுன்னு ரீட் பண்ணணும். இஃப் யூ ஹாவ் எனி டவுட், go to the dictionary, take the dictionary, find out the meaning, connect that meaning to the sentences and read it. Definitely you will develop your understanding skill. Sorry dears. To promote critical thinking, evaluation of reading materials. So how you can develop your critical thinking here. So you have to evaluate your reading materials. You find out the reading materials you find a correct reading materials. First you go with the easiest one, then you develop your reading as per your convenience. To enhance registration and recall of text information in one's memory. Whatever you read whole day, it is not a perfect thing unless you recall it. So unless you recall all the information, you cannot go to the correct level. ஸோ என்ன படித்தாலும் ஒரு ரிவிஷன் அதுக்கு கொடுக்கணும். ரிவிஷன் இல்லைன்னா நீங்கள் படிக்கிறதே வேஸ்ட் இல்லையா? அப்படி தானே சொல்லுவோம். என்ன படித்தாலும் யூ ஜஸ்ட் ரிவைஸ் இட். ஸோ இப்போ நான் இந்த வீடியோ லெக்சர் எண்டு பண்ணேன்னா டெஃபினெட்லி யூ பீப்புள் see to it and then you revise it again and again. Whenever you find time, you revise once, you revise twice, then definitely I can assure you that you people have developed a capacity of reading, ability to read. So I'm requesting you to just follow to improve your understanding skills. Okay, next, techniques for good comprehension: skimming and scanning, non-verbal signals, structure of the text, structure of paragraphs, punctuations, author's viewpoint, reader's anticipation, determining the meaning of words, and summarizing. So you have to skim and you have to scan all the words in a correct way, and non-verbal signals should be there. Without verbal means I'm explaining you. Non-verbal means some kind of gesture, some kind of figures will explain you something. So concentrate on skimming, concentrate on scanning the words, get the clear meaning, non-verbal signals, then finally see to the structure of the text, structure of the paragraphs, what that particular paragraph deals about, and correct punctuation, know what is punctuation, and try to find out what the author's view about, what are the authors saying about. So readers anticipation is you are determining the meaning of words, find the correct meaning, and then summarizing. So I said that you have to summarize all the things whatever you did. So this will be the good techniques for improving your comprehension. So we'll recall, we recap once. Just we have a slight go through what we saw today. So we saw about the barriers of effective reading, what stops you to be a effective reader, what is not in you that you can't be a effective reader. தடைகள், என்ன தடைகள் இருக்குது, அதனால உங்களது ரீடிங் பாதிக்குது, அதுக்கு சொல்கிறாங்கப்பா. எஃபெக்டிவ் கம்யூனிகேஷன் இருந்தால் தான் அது ஒரு ப்ரொஃபஷ்னல் கெரியர் நல்லா இருக்கும். உங்கள் டெக்னாலஜியில் நல்லா அட்வான்ஸ்மெண்ட், நீங்கள் அப்டேட்டடாக இருக்கணும். அண்ட் தென் ஸ்பெண்ட் டைம் எங்கே ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணணும்னா ரிசீவிங் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். என்ன இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்? லிசனிங் அண்ட் ரீடிங். while you read, while you listen, you will get many information. So here we saw about the percentage. Here we saw about the percentage of time, how the professionals are spending. So the much time they spend on listening. If you listen carefully, then you speak easily. And finally, if you spend time in reading, then you write properly. So all these skills can be developed only when you practice it properly. Okay. So the purpose of reading we saw. Under that we saw how these students are facing, what are the purpose, what are the ideas we have to follow. So definitely if someone is favorite for you, definitely you will read that subject very easily, very interestingly. You will watch that video lecture if you are interested in that particular person. Then reading rates, how the reading rates will vary, how the reading rates can develop so on your vocabulary. So it depends upon the reading material. Likewise, what the reading material you have selected, it definitely you have to work on the vocabulary. How to develop the fast reading technique. So you have to use the reading words in groups. You have to group the word and then you have to read. You have to determine the purpose before you read. And then how to increase your reading capacity only by practice. So if you are a poor concentrated, if you have a poor concentration, then start with the limited time, that is 5 to 10 minutes. Then we saw about the reason for the poor understanding, that is if you the inability, if you are not understanding the word, if you are not understanding the sentence, if you don't have the ability to understand, if you don't have the ability to relate the sentence to one another, if you don't have the ability to find the correct meaning and then find correct information. So if you have lack of interest or concentration, definitely you have a poor understanding power. So how you can improve this poor understanding power? So by reading variety of materials. Don't limit your education, don't limit your study. Be active in your reading process. Promote your critical thinking in such a way that with the help of reading materials, whatever you are taking, your materials promote your critical view, promote your critical analysis to enhance registration. So if the particular thing have to be you have to registered. If you want to have a happy learning, then select a good and a favorite writer. Read that material to develop your study, to develop your reading capacity. Then finally you have to give time for recall, revision. Then how you can develop your, what are the techniques you can follow to develop your good understanding power? Skim and scan your words. Cut short your words, scan your words. Non-verbal signals இப்போ அங்கே இருந்தால் அது பாருங்க. இந்த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் ஆஃப் த டெக்ஸ்ட் பாருங்க, கட் ஷார்ட் பண்ணி படிங்க. grasp the important points, know the punctuation marks, what the author is telling about, what the writer deals about. Then determine the meaning of the words, give the words a proper meaning. Finally summarize it. So Now I am ending my video lecture now. So what you people have to do now is, you people are going to watch somehow this video lecture. So when you complete this video lecture, revise it, summarize it. Just go with the important headings like waste technique for good comprehension, improving comprehension skills, reason for poor comprehension, reading rates. What we saw, you just pointed out purpose of reading rates, reason for poor comprehension, how to improve the comprehension skill, what are the techniques we have to follow to improve our concentration skills so that we can be a good reader and effective reader. So overall criteria comes under only one point, that is practice. So unless you practice the reading skill, you cannot develop your reading skills. Till that, we are completing my class today. Stay safe, stay blessed. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Bye.